Barney Street Lock Up escapee fatally shot during police operation to capture him. Tyrese Brown, one of the men who escaped from the Barney Street police station in St. James last week, was fatally shot by police in Trelawney on Thursday during an operation to apprehend him. The head of the Trelawney Police Superintendent Winston Milton told reporters that the 23-year-old resident of Setting in the parish was shot after attacking cops with a machete. Acting on intelligence, the police went in search of Brown in the Ulster Spring area. He was seen hiding behind a tree and jumped at the police armed with a machete. The police took evasive action and shot Brown. He said that Brown was taken to Falmouth Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Brown was in custody for charges of murder, rape and wounding with intent. The charges related to the killing of 15-year-old Jamil Cole, a student of Troy High School. Police hunting driver of car that hit cop during traffic stop. A search is underway for the driver of a motor car which hit and injured a policeman during a traffic stop in St. Andrew on Thursday. Police reports state that about 4:30 p.m., the police constable was on duty in Halfway Tree when he signaled the driver of a Toyota Probox motor car to stop. The driver reportedly disobeyed and instead ran the vehicle into the policeman and sped away. The policeman was assisted to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was treated for injuries he received to his right leg. The Halfway Tree police are investigating the matter. Daniel Rowe killer to spend at least 27 years in prison. Dental assistant Kody Shattet, who has been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of 8-year-old Daniel Rowe, she will be eligible for parole after serving 27 years and 4 months. The decision was handed down by Supreme Court Judge Justice Caroline Tide-Powell on Friday. Kyodo was also sentenced to 6 years and 3 months for child stealing. The sentences are to run concurrently. During the sentencing, Justice Tide-Powell described what Kyodo did to Daniel as sheer evil and said that with Daniel's death, her family has been deprived of so much, noting Daniel's brother, who asks for her every day, and her sister, who is always angry and wants to die. Kyodo, by her own admission, snatched Rowe from Brayton Primary and Infant School in Portmore, St. Catherine on June 8, 2023, and took her to a location in St. Andrew, where she fed her a meal before slashing her throat. The mortally wounded child was found by a member of the Jamaica Defense Force on Rossbell Avenue in St. Andrew. She succumbed to her injuries in hospital 2 days later on June 10. In September this year, Kyodo pleaded guilty to the act which caused widespread horror and outrage. She claimed she was driven to commit the crime out of bitterness and frustration at being dealt by the child's father, who she said infected her with HIV. One of the attorneys, Donovan Collins, told reporters that the sentence was handed down around 11:30 a.m. in the Home Circuit Court. He said despite the sentence, no party has won in this situation, noting the killing of children must end.
Really and truly, what we need to look at is how we really move forward in Jamaica to ensure that matters of this nature where persons are killing our children, it don't continue. And certainly as they look at what caused this matter, this incident to happen, then we realize that we will now have to start looking at how we deal with one another. As it was read out in court that what led to Ms. Satchwell committing this gruesome act was because she was allegedly infected with the HIV virus by the father of the child. So we now have to look at how we treat each other so that we know that we can't continue to treat people bad as things like these can happen. So social intervention is necessary in this country so that persons will not continue to believe that if they have a problem with another person, then it is okay for them to go and kill someone's child.
Government welcomes court ruling on DPP's retirement age. The Prime Minister Andrew Holness-led administration says it welcomes further ruling by the Court of Appeal, which it said affirmed that its decision to pass legislation which extends the retirement ages of the Director of Public Prosecutions DPP and the Auditor General was lawful. The appeal court ruled that the Constitutional Court erred in April when it struck down the second bar of the 2023 constitutional amendment extending the tenure of Paula Llewellyn as DPP. Information Minister Senator Dana Morris Dixon said in a release that the fact is the government has over the years, as a matter of policy, extended the retirement ages as it relates to several offices. The passage of the legislation concerning the ODPP and the AGD is a continuation of the policy. We were always confident that our actions were not only lawful but good policy and in line with that obtained in several modern jurisdictions. It is very unfortunate that this issue was politicized, Dixon said, adding that the government is pleased with the work of its legal team, which include King's Counsel, Alan Wood and Senator Ransford Braham, along with Nico Pagan and Catherine Williams. In the summary judgment handed down Friday morning, the appeal court panel led by Justice Christine Straw said it had determined that upon the promulgation of the Amendment Act, the incumbent DPP automatically benefited from the extension it granted. Furthermore, the panel disagreed with the stance of the Constitutional Court that such an extension would require agreement between the Prime Minister and the opposition leader. The appeal court said the 2023 amendment to the new Section 2.1, which increases the age of retirement of the DPP from 60 to 65, and Section 2.2, which gave the right to the DPP to elect and remain in office despite the role of the Prime Minister and opposition leader assigned by the Constitution regarding an extension of tenure, were valid. In 2023, the government, through a majority vote of both Houses of Parliament, put through amendments to Section 96(1) and 121(1) of the Constitution. The amendments, through a new Section 2.1, increased the age of the retirement of the DPP from 60 to 65 and added a new Section 2.2, giving the right to the DPP to elect to remain in office despite the role of the Prime Minister and opposition leader assigned by the Constitution regarding an extension of tenure. The opposition filed a lawsuit challenging the extension, arguing that the amendment was unconstitutional and should be struck down on the basis that the DPP had already received one extension in office in 2020 when she turned 60 and so should not benefit from a second. In April, the full court, comprising Justices Lisa Shelley, Simone Wolf-Rees, and Sonny Wint-Blair, ruled that while the amendment to the Act increasing the retirement age of the DPP from 60 to 65 is constitutional, the Second Amendment is not a valid section and is severed from the Constitution because the process remains unchanged for extending the retirement age. Consequently, the panel said this section is unconstitutional, null void, and of no legal effect. The April 19 ruling resulted in Llewellyn stepping aside after 16 years in the position, with an interim acting DPP, Claudette Thomas, appointed for 6 months effective April 22nd. An extension was granted from the expiry date of the first one for Thompson. That same month, of the government, through the Attorney General, filed an appeal against the ruling of the Constitutional Court. JFB urges caution when decorating homes with lights. The Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB is urging individuals to be mindful of potential fire hazards when decorating their homes with electric powered lights and other decorations during the Christmas season. Deputy Commissioner and Officer in charge of Fire Safety Prevention and Investigation at the JFB, Sean Martin, told reporters that wire inspections should be done ahead of decorating to ensure lights are intact. One of the first things we used to do is to ensure that we check the shafting of the wire. If there's shafting of the wires, we are not recommending taping over the shaft. We're recommending that you get rid of that set of decoration and replace it with new ones. The plug that you plug in, you want to make sure that it is properly fitted and there's no breakage. If there's a breakage, we get rid of that set of decoration, Martin emphasized. He further advised individuals to be cautious about how many lights they plug into each other, as too many can overload the circuit and lead to a fire. If you put too much load on a circuit, the circuit becomes overloaded, and if the breaker don't trip, then you have a fire. You also need to be careful of the kind of extension you use to plug them in. There are some low-costing extensions which are not suitable, and they become overheated after a while and they start to burn because the quality of these extensions is not good, Martin noted. When purchasing extension cords and lights, people should ensure that they only buy rated and fitted for purpose electrical equipment that will provide the required kind of service. Ensure that you use them fit for purpose. Don't use the ones for inside on the outside because they are not water resistant and they can start a fire, Martin noted. Rated electrical extension cards are identifiable with a marking UL under its writer's laboratory on the package. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.